Hey, Sisters with Voices. This is the official release of this process, if you will. I talked to you guys about hints of this day taking place. And so now it is officially here. And what is the purpose of Sisters with Voices? First and foremost, from time to time, it's going to be others that are on here with me, sisters, if you will. And every now and again, we will invite some of the brothers because they, are important in our lives as well. I am my sister's keeper, but I'm also my brother's keeper. And so, why did I start Sisters with Voice? If you didn't get a chance to watch the intro for this segment, it consists of me explaining that I am the baby of 5 children with my mother and father that made it 7. So being the baby of the family, you don't get to express your voice. Your voice is actually muted because you're the little one. What do you know, right? And then coming from that to becoming a mother at just shy of being 18 years old, even then your voice now is muted. Why? Because you now are the mother of a little one whose voice is more important than yours. Then getting into a 2-decade relationship where same thing, your voice is no longer yours. Why? It's about your family's voice. And now here I am, as I explained, facing a half of century. A half of century. I am now realizing I do have a voice. And so some of the things that I am encouraged to talk about are things that will take place in life that has absolutely to do with every day. From what we see in the media, from what we deal with every day as women, from what we deal with every day as a culture, grandparents, aunts, siblings, friends, you name it. It's going to be discussed, and it is just me sitting in front of this camera. Nothing fancy, nothing unorthodox, but just being my true authentic self. And as I always explain, I love being my true authentic self because it gives you the ability to see me. No filters, no rehearsals, no makeup, which I don't wear anyways. Nothing against the makeup, but I'm just saying I don't wear anyways. But even fixing the locks on my hair, it's my true authentic self. So, what are we going to talk about today? First, I want to say thank you very, very much for watching this and sharing and going and subscribing or following the page and subscribing to the YouTube channel, because this will give Sisters with Voice an opportunity to actually be that, a voice. Relatability is important, especially with the times that we're facing right now. I do want to say thank you for to the good Lord, first and foremost, for sparing my life, providing grace and mercy for me and my family, our belongings, and where we lay our head at night. Now, with me in informing you of why I started Sisters with Voice, I want to talk to you about, what today's or this Sunday, because it's on Sunday's vibes, and today's vibe is about identity. We talked about this in church today, so I thought it was ironic because I was sitting still trying to contemplate what I want to start my first Sunday vibes session with you guys on and about. And when this was talked about, it struck a chord. There's an old saying that was given to me, and it says, when you know, it'll stick with you. And so it's been sticking with me. And that's, as I said, this segment, that's my little grandbaby that you're hearing. So I am a grandmother, but this segment is about, no rehearsing. And so I don't get a chance to rehearse things. I don't get a chance to look at things. So literally maybe about 10 minutes before I turn the camera on, my mindset kind of goes into, what am I going to talk about? What do I want to share with you? And so identity is one of them. Being confident, not cocky, but confident. And me being confident gives me the ability to not have to have affirmations from other people. So your opinion of me does not matter. Sorry, that's just blatantly said. To that, my opinion of you shouldn't matter either, and you shouldn't be apologetic about that either. If you know who you are, then it doesn't matter what people say, whether they're around you or, out of your presence, it wouldn't matter. And you're talking to someone who has faced scrutiny almost my whole life. And being the first to give birth in the family, being less than, God bless grandma's baby, being a young black girl to give birth to a kid at 17 years old, still in high school. So all of those things put the microscope on me. And what it gave me the ability to do, where the enemy thought it was going to break me, it actually made me. It made me into the woman that I am today. Having the ability to face anything and everyone that I have to. Not saying that I don't get nervous about things, but it gives me the ability to sit in my space and own whatever it is that I'm faced with. Don't point fingers. Understand, the role that I play in whatever part it is. Understand when it's something that I can change, then I try and figure out what that change consists of. But I also receive when it comes time there are things that I don't have control over. I have now, at almost half a century, I've now understood, or understand, if you will, what it means to let go and let God. Often we're put in positions where you can't call mom, you can't call dad, you can't call a sibling. All you can do is just sit and wait on God. And if you're someone that has experienced that, then you know what I'm talking about, right? That goes back to me saying, those are the things that make you comfortable and confident. And when you are comfortable and confident as an individual, then going back to what I said earlier, you won't have to have someone's approval of you. Whether your circle consists of 1, 2, 3, or none, receive it. There is a reason, there is a season that you will go through a solidarity period. That solidarity period is so that you can obtain growth. And unless you sit in it, own it, reflect, dissect, and understand it, then you will never be able to elevate from it. As of your elevating taking place, this is when you will realize that, I have a voice. My voice actually matters. And to be able to say that out loud, it is truly, in fact, invigorating. I have a voice, and my voice matters. So, as of me going to the grocery store after Sunday service to pick up something to cook, as most of us do on a Sunday afternoon if we haven't taken anything out, I was in line and I realized I forgot an item. And right away, I said to the young man who was checking me out, I said, he asked me if I was able to find it, and I'm paraphrasing. He asked me if I was able to find everything okay, and I said yes. Then I said, you know what? I really didn't. Here's that moment. I said, and it may be small, but hear me out. I said, I forgot a sweet onion. Do you mind if I run back and get it? He said, yes, I do. I do mind that you run. He said, and I looked at it first. I'm sorry. He said, yes, I do. So I looked at him. I was like, oh. But then he said, I do mind that you run. He said, I don't mind you going back, but take your time. So my train of thought of why I was wanting to run, which I still ended up running. Why? It wasn't about me. It wasn't even about him. It was about the people that were going to come in that line, because they didn't see anybody at the checkout counter. They would have automatically assumed that it was open for them to move forward. And just to show, as I was running to the produce section, someone stopped me. I heard my name and I turned and looked, and they said, I got to get with you. And in my mind, I'm like, I got to get back to the register, right? But I stopped because I also have learned that no two paths are crossed by accident. Remember, I always say that. So in the midst of me running to get this produce, the produce was brought to my attention for a reason. I stopped. This is someone that I've known for years. Haven't seen them in years, but I've known for years, if that makes sense. And so I didn't want to rush them, but I also wanted to rush back to get to the destination. And so I said, okay, sure, go ahead. And they asked me for my phone number. I gave them the phone number. Then I popped out one of my business cards real quick to try to speed the process up. And then I realized this person stop what they were doing to turn around to call my name and say to me they need to get with me, and I'm yet here trying to rush them to get back to a perfect stranger. didn't balance out, right? So at that moment, I stopped. I said, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I said, I'm rushing because I had my my stuff in the checkout line, and I got the young man's register held up. And I said, so this is why I was trying to give you my business card. And I said, please, no, I'm not rushing you. And so they said to me, no, no, no worries. So they got my business card. I proceeded to get the produce. And then after getting the produce, I realized, okay, let me run back. So I run back to the counter. And believe it or not, there were about 4 people standing in line. And there was this couple, which, mind you, this is the full circle moment. The young man that was now in line was the same young man that I was going to allow to go in front of me. And he said to me, no, you go ahead. I went ahead. I come back, and now he's behind me. And I look, he looked, and I spoke. Just imagine, had I not been the polite individual, as my pastor always, first lady always says to us, smile, give someone a compliment, which is what I had just done, right? And behind him were 2 other people, and I immediately apologized to them and say, forgive me for holding the line up. I said I forgot an item, and I made fun and say, you know how it is when you're cooking. Everybody in that line, from a chain reaction, was apologetic to me because the man behind me said, oh, you're so welcome, you were going to let me go a moment, and I chose not to. And so it created an atmosphere of politeness. Why am I sharing all of this? Because we are so busy. We're so busy in this world where we have a tendency to forget about everybody else. And it's all about us. Me, 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 me. That's the mindset we have. Me, 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 me. Nobody thinks about it not being about you or me, but the people that are behind or will come behind you. And so why am I bringing that up? Because we're talking about confidence, not needing affirmations, but also being confident in knowing who you are gives you the ability to also be polite to others. Because of my confidence, knowing that I would have patiently waited, it exuded to the person behind me, who then continued the process on to the other people. Now, granted, I know it's not going to always be like that, but in that moment it was, and it gave me that aha moment. It made me understand and realize that when you slow down in life and you stop having this mindset of the world revolving around you, you can see things clearer. You smell things differently. You are able to face things differently. And it gives you the ability to appreciate life. And so today's topic was, given to me as the first segment of Sisters with Voice. And so for me, it feels good. It feels good to come within your home and share this information with you and give you the ability to stop and think about what experience did you have today where you either made a difference or could have made a difference. And if you want to share that, please feel free. Go in the comment section and do just that, because you have a voice as well. Your voice matters. And your confidence is what's going to allow you to not have to have affirmations. So many years of my life, I thought it mattered what others said about me. Now, caveat to that, I don't want to be a jackrabbit, and the other side of that I really, am saying but won't say. But I don't want to be a jackrabbit either, where I'm snobbish, rude, disrespectful. But it doesn't matter what people, say about me, nor does it matter what people think about me. As long as I know what's within my heart, and that man upstairs knows what's in my heart, that's who I have to live for. And when those 2 things align with one another, then that will give you the ability to walk right, speak right, act right, and treat others right. And so my takeaway today is confidence, going back to what I said, is key. And confidence trumps affirmations, because whether you get them or not, then they should not make or break you. I've learned that this social media thing is one where we feel that we have to put up a facade. for others to be able to see. A small glimpse, because it's what, 30 seconds now. It's increased to a minute. Maybe reels are able to be a little bit longer, but the majority of it's what, about 30 to 60 seconds long of your life. That's nothing. That's something that you are able to create. And for me, I don't want to, that's harder to have to do, to put up a facade, to pretend to be this individual that everybody else is going to give you some likes and shares on and for. Now, as of us talking about enrichment or support, the word, God's grace and his mercy, those kind of things very rarely receive likes, shares, or comments. But the minute something is posted about something negative, it's shared. What's that saying? It travels faster than a wildfire. We've got to be the resolution, the change that we want to see. And by us having the ability to do those things, then our voices can be heard. So I take today and I reflect on what I had happen in the grocery store, and I understand that that could be my every single day. It was a great feeling. It was a great feeling because I could have so easily skipped the guy, not said anything, turned my nose at him, tooted my head up at him, not said anything, going to the produce section to the person called my name. I could have took my time to go and get my produce, but none of the above happened. All of it took place in a positive mindset, which resulted in a positive atmosphere. So there is a small percentage of a chance that what happens in your day to day, you do have a little bit of control. You do. And even if it starts out in a negative manner, it's what you choose to do with that. There's someone that I know, when you make a phone call to them, who's very pivotal in my life. When I make this phone call to them, their voicemail, when they don't get a chance to answer, it says, don't allow your decision today to, cause today to be your last. That means you have a choice. That also means you have a voice. So, Jacqueline Coleman signing off, saying thank you very much for listening. I hope you like, share, and comment whatever your takeaway is. And I hope to see you soon, every second and fourth Sunday going forward. I know today's not the fourth Sunday or the second Sunday for that matter, but I did want to make sure I just went ahead and ripped the bandage off and got this out there, because the more I sat on it, the more I was going to procrastinate, and that's not of God. If he's giving me a voice to be able to speak, then it's my job to do just that. I hope you found something in this message that gives you to the ability to hear what your voice is. And on that note, I say thank you very much. And now I've got to go and tend to my little grandson. But I thank you guys for joining me, and you guys have a great day. Bye.